my life, removing pain. Lord, let my words heal a heart that hurts. I want to spend my life mending broken people. I want to spend my life mending broken people. Hello and welcome to another 3ABN Today cooking program. I'm always excited to be in the kitchen, and with me today is Stephanie Salazar.
Yes.
Now, this is the first time that we've been in the kitchen together.
That's right. Yes. Hi, Jason. I'm just so happy to be here. It's great to be back, ready to cook again. Yes.
Well, it's great to have you here, and I'm excited to try what we'll be making. Well, predominantly what you'll be making today, and I'll be tasting, but I'll assist a little bit.
Yes, you will. Of course you will.
Yes.
We're gonna have fun.
I got to earn my meal, huh?
That's right. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your background and.
Okay. Well, I love to cook. That's one thing for sure. I've been cooking for many, many years since I was around 12 years old. I have two older brothers, and you know how boys can eat. And so I used to have to cook for the family, and they liked so much what I would make for them that it motivated me to keep putting a lot of effort and love to the cooking. And so I've been cooking for a long, long time. I'm a teacher, and I'm actually teaching at the Adventist University in Chile. That's where I live now.
Okay.
My husband's from there, so we both work at the university. And I'm teaching cooking classes as well as juice therapy to the students there, for the different careers. And that's what I'm doing.
And you're also, like, when you come to the States, you're also a community health consultant, right?
That's right.
Sonari Life?
Yes, when I'm here during the year, a couple of months a year, I always work with Sonari Life and different projects like this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Speaking of nice, where is Nice College? We're missing
Yes,
Nice College.
we're missing Nice. We're missing now. We're good partners in the kitchen as well. We did about several programs about 10 years ago here for 3ABN Latino, and people really enjoyed those. So maybe there will be a next time where we can work together again in the kitchen. But yeah, Nice is not able to be here, even though he wishes he was, for sure.
Yeah, I love when he comes. His food is good.
Oh, okay. All right.
Too.
Okay.
And I know this spread is going to be amazing. So why don't you tell us what we're going to make today?
Sure. For today, we have an Asian menu with wonderful dishes with a variety of ingredients. The first one we'll be making is a chickpea curry, Asian noodles, a teriyaki sauce to go with those noodles, as well as with a broccoli tofu dish. Then we'll also be making some Vietnamese rolls that are raw with a peanut sauce.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Let's go to our first
All
recipe.
right. Our first recipe today is a chickpea curry. And for that, we will need the following ingredients. We need 1 pound of chickpeas that are cooked and drained, 1 large onion finely chopped, 3 garlic cloves, 2 cups diced potato, 2 cups cauliflower in small pieces, 1 can of coconut milk, half a teaspoon of cumin powder, half a teaspoon of paprika, 1 tablespoon of turmeric, a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of coriander powder, salt to taste, and also some fresh coriander just to decorate.
That sounds like it's going to be flavorful.
That's the idea.
Yes, yes. So where do we begin?
We're going to start with our pan. Let's heat it up a little bit. You know how the base for most...
Let's see.
You can help me with that maybe, Jason, if you don't mind. The base for pretty much any good savory dish is to have good sauteed onions and garlic. They're just such, full of flavor. They just give depth of flavor to our basically any dish. And when you chop it very finely, very, very finely, you can't even really see them after they're sauteed, and they turn like clear and just very, very smooth and little. So there's no issues with having a lot of onion in this dish.
Gotcha.
Would you mind passing me a spoon to mix, if you don't mind? Thank you so much. Here to use it as a little tool for sauteing. So we're gonna put it in a little bit of olive oil, or it can be grapeseed oil. That's the one I like to use. In fact, that's the one we have right here. Grapeseed oil it takes heat very well.
Okay.
So it won't get damaged, chemically damaged, and that's why I like to use it for cooking. So let's wait a little bit here until this gets a little hot. Okay. You can start hearing the sizzling, right?
Sizzle. Now, what do you want the flame on? Do you want it high?
Let's do high, yes. Okay. Let's try to save some time here. We're watching it closely and we're constantly moving it and mixing it. Then we won't let it burn. To the onion, we're going to add the garlic as well. Oh,
I love garlic.
Fresh garlic. As you can see, we have a lot of garlic here.
Yes.
This is a curry, so it's got to be, filled with flavor.
Nice.
And that's why we're going to do that. And let's saute them a little bit more just for the flavors to come out, to blend, and just to activate, so to speak, the onion and the garlic to be able to flavor the whole dish.
Yes.
All right, that's the idea. So here we have some chickpeas. These have been cooked already.
Okay.
If you cook them in a pressure pot, maybe 20, 30 minutes, they come out really fine. And it's good to drain them because a lot of times the liquid is a little bit thick. And you can use that liquid, that aquafaba that is known as these days, for other dishes, even sweet dishes like pies and things like that. It works like eggs would work. So it's a wonderful thing to keep as well. Oh yeah, the aroma
smells good.
Nice,
That smells good. People might not want to talk to us after we eat this.
No, yes, they will, because once it cooks, it won't affect your breath. Don't worry about that. Here, let's put the chickpeas as well so that we can get started with the cooking process and for them to be able to absorb some of the flavor, okay, from the onion and garlic. That's right, that's very good.
All right.
Let's mix that up, Jason.
So I'm going to stir that around.
Yes. And then let's also incorporate one of our key ingredients. For curries, you have to have
milk.
Yes. The coconut milk, it has to go in the curries. It just has to go.
I love it.
It's a beautiful ingredient. It's just so rich and creamy. It makes it flavorful, a little sweetness to it, you know. And then it will incorporate so well with the spices we're gonna use later that it will just make the perfect curry. So coconut milk is a winner. Let's incorporate it there.
Okay.
And then when you start cooking the dish, the coconut milk will thicken. It will thicken things up a little bit.
Okay.
So let's get those going, and a little bit, it's on high, right?
Yes.
And what we're gonna do now, we're gonna start seasoning it with a little bit of salt. I have some Himalayan pink salt right here.
Okay.
We're gonna eyeball it a little bit like this. But just because, you know, I cook all the time, so I'm sure that cooks at home do the same when it comes to the salt.
That's right. You don't measure everything.
Especially the salt. I mean, unless you have to, like, sometimes young men have to measure even the salt.
Well, you know, I don't
But I don't cook. I don't know if you cook or not. Are you a cook?
I cook a little bit. I like to eat, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you make? What do you like to make at home?
I dabble a little bit. So, like, I love dinner foods.
Okay.
I love Italian food.
Okay.
I love Mexican food.
All right.
I just love food.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I love food.
Yes, like most guys do.
That's
like
right,
most
that's
guys.
Right.
Now we're gonna add our spices, okay, to this richness of the coconut milk with the garlic and the onion.
Okay.
Let's let it cook a little bit, right? As we cook it, let's put the different spices. Now you can use, if you want it, just the typical, you know, curry powder that you can buy. But the reason we're not doing that is because we want to teach you a little bit of how to make your own homemade curry. Okay. Now, you could go ahead and mix all of these spices up that we have, the ones on the ingredient list. But for the sake of saving time, we're just going to put it straight into the pan. Nevertheless, we use most of the ingredients that a common curry brings, but not all of them, and there's a reason for that. We try to omit some of the ingredients or some of the spices that are a little bit harmful to the body, a little bit irritant.
Yes.
For example, the nutmeg.
Okay.
And a couple of others like clove or nutmeg. Some of those are a little bit irritant to the stomach, to the stomach lining. So it's better to avoid those. People like start getting issues and problems, you know, and they don't really know why.
Yeah.
They say, I don't drink alcohol, I don't, you know, drink soda, or I don't drink coffee. But then maybe they're getting in their spices some irritants to their stomach, and that's why maybe they have to watch their curry powder. powder. Maybe that's what's affecting them a little bit.
Isn't ginger good for the stomach too?
Ginger is good, and we are including ginger in one of our spices, yes.
Okay.
So the ones that we just left out are the other ones that I mentioned.
Gotcha.
But the first and main one is the turmeric. There's no curry without turmeric. I use it in everything. I mean, I just use it so much, not just the curries. Let's add it up so you can start getting some beautiful yellow color.
Oh yeah, that's gonna change.
Yeah, and the turmeric is considered like a divine little plant in India. Did you know that? They have like a little plant planted in their gardens, and they even like, you know, do some reverence into it because it's just so healing and so full of healing properties that Indians actually consider it part of their religious routine or something like that. You know, that's why they eat it so much. But they have a point.
But we know that they should be praising the one true God.
For sure, for sure. You know, they haven't.
You know, that's
maybe the people that do that, yeah.
Yeah, that's something you see that's an issue nowadays. Is there's so many people that are praising the creation rather than the creator.
Very interesting the way you put that. Yes.
Yeah, that's an.
But that's why we have to continue helping and doing our part to impart the truth.
Educate, absolutely.
That's right. And yes, turmeric, it has so many healing properties that is amazing and wonderful for the health. That's why it's so good to incorporate it into your diet, into your cooking, not just curries, but you can put it in rices, you can put it in any kind of stews, like lentils or beans or just everything you make pretty much. You can put a little bit of turmeric, and it will add color and flavor as well as nutrition.
This color, speaking of color.
Yes, we're putting the ginger, the cumin powder, the paprika, everything that we mentioned before, so that we can have a very delicious curry. And then, to complement it, we're going to put some potatoes.
Oh,
We've already cooked this. These are already cooked, which just makes it just a lot easier and faster. So we're going to put this in here. Now, people sometimes put everything together raw. Maybe the chickpeas not so much, because the chickpeas do have to have a little extra cooking time.
Okay.
But you can cook it in the broth, the potatoes in the broth. And then some cauliflower as well, right here. This is already a little bit cooked. Not all the way, we don't want it mushy, but definitely soft.
Gotcha.
Okay, definitely soft, but not mushy.
Okay.
And then we're gonna put this in as well until we get some color in those.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and stir this around.
Yeah, you're the stirrer. You're doing it so good. And he's doing so good, I'm not even gonna worry about that. Not even worry. Here I have some fresh cilantro or coriander that has to go also as part of our delicious curry. And we're gonna chop it really quick here. It may need, when you see that it's a little bit dry, it's because of the potatoes. They soak up a lot of the liquid. So we're gonna add a little bit of water.
Okay.
Would you mind doing that, Jason? Just a little bit of water, we're gonna add it up, just so we can get it going a little bit better. And that way, we don't get it all dried up, so that we have a smooth creaminess to it. And that way, it doesn't dry. Just the potatoes absorb most of the liquid. That's why this happens. So you have to monitor it, not too much. Go ahead, just put it little by little. Yes. It will evaporate, so it's not like gonna affect, that's enough, thank you. It's not gonna affect the flavor so much, it will evaporate some of it, and then it's just that we wanna get all the flavors incorporated, and then a little bit, keep the creaminess as well. I was telling you that the coconut milk, as you cook it, it thickens up.
Yes.
So then when this gets cool, it will be very thick.
Yeah.
So it's, when you heat it up, it loosens up, but then, but you see how delicious this looks?
Yeah, I'm ready to plate this thing.
Yeah, let's hope that it has enough salt.
Taste it.
We might have to put a little bit extra salt just because the potatoes and we added the potatoes and the cauliflower, so just a little dash of salt, a little bit more.
Okay.
And I'm gonna now chop the cilantro to top it off, and then we'll have our delicious curry, pretty much ready.
I'm excited.
Yes. Then the idea is to eat it with a little bit of rice.
Okay.
You know, and then it makes a complete meal. A complete meal. Yes, it's just so delicious to have curries. And you can use different things, not just chickpeas or cauliflower. You can add carrots if you wanted. You could add peas, or you could use a different kind of legume. Instead of chickpeas, it could be maybe even lentils.
Okay.
But the idea is that a curry has the coconut milk and the spices.
Gotcha.
That's basically the idea. Now, we're not making this one spicy, although some people prefer it spicy. You could, to be able to have spiciness to it, you would have to add a little bit of cayenne pepper.
Gotcha.
And then you have the spiciness to it. I like spicy. I'm a Latina after all, I'm sorry.
I hear you. I like spicy too. I like a little spicy.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah.
I like a little spicy.
But for the sake of the others that are gonna taste the dish, I decided not to put the spice, any spicy.
Yeah, and we don't want any upset stomachs or anything.
Oh, that's the thing too, yeah. Everything with moderation, or try to avoid it really. That's actually best to avoid it.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, so we have the chopped cilantro here.
Okay.
And we're gonna just sprinkle it on top.
Oh, yeah.
Like this, you can mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
And just to add a little flavor. And then we're gonna turn it off. Since everything is cooked already, we pretty much can just turn it off. Okay. We don't want to overcook the cilantro. I want it to stay nice and bright green, not brown. So just to add a little flavor at the end, and also some pretty garnish as well. So now let's plate our dish. How about that?
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. So here I have a very nice dish.
Okay.
Let me just dry my hands really quick. Let's move this over here.
What? I'm going to clear some of
Thank you so much, Jason. Yes, you see, we make a good team. I just knew that we would.
That's right.
All right. So let me bring the dish over here.
And I think I might let you handle the plating part.
Okay,
for the presentation, I think you have that one under control.
But doesn't this look pretty?
Oh, it looks amazing.
Now, what I'm realizing is that we have a yellow dish, and this is pretty yellow. But hey, let's just have a combination of yellows, like different shades of yellows.
That's right.
It should look nice. How about you help me, because I think it's going to be pretty heavy.
Absolutely.
So let me, if you can, maybe I don't need, yes, you can. Of course you can. There you go. Slowly but surely, we're going to put it in a beautiful, pretty dish like this. And we are pretty much ready to serve this.
You know, the thing about people watching this at home is they don't get to smell all this deliciousness.
That's true.
But if they make it, they'll get to smell it.
Oh, for sure.
And taste it.
Oh, they should really make it.
They should.
You know, you go out these days to eat or to buy little prepared meals, and this can be pretty pricey, something like this at a restaurant.
Yeah.
But at home, it's so much cheaper.
Yep.
And did you see how easy that was?
Yeah.
Wasn't that easy?
It was easy.
Just so easy. Let's finish with a little bit more.
Especially since you did most of the work on it.
Well, we did chop the potatoes, you know.
Yeah.
That definitely saves time. But for moms out there and people that are used to cooking, the chopping is just, you know, part of life.
Yep.
Let's put a little paprika on top just for a little bit of more color and presentation, and a little bit of garnishing right there.
That looks amazing.
So then we have, of course, some rice, because you can't have you really can't have curry without rice.
That's
So
right.
we'll have our delicious chickpea curry with some brown rice, and that's just a wonderful meal.
You know what else we have? A spoon.
Try it. Let's taste and see. Taste and see.
Let's see.
It's kind of hot. Be careful.
Yeah, I know it.
You might have to blow it a little bit. Yeah, but it does smell pretty good. And then we have to go on to our, how is it?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah? Great news.
Really good. What are we making next?
Next, we're going to be making some Asian noodles.
For that, you'll need 1 package of long noodles, 2 medium carrots, 2 cups of snap peas, 1 onion, a red bell pepper, a yellow bell pepper, 1 can of what I like to call baby corn, 2 cups of homemade Asian sauce, and you can use 1 to 2 cups for that. But for our teriyaki sauce, we're going to need 1/2 cup of soy sauce, 1/4 cup of water, 2 teaspoons grated fresh ginger, 2 garlic cloves ground or finely chopped, 1/4 cup of cane sugar, and 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. Sounds like we're about to have another flavorful dish.
That's right.
Where do we begin?
First thing we do is cook our noodles. That's right. I think they're already finished by now. And we're going to drain them over there really quick.
Okay.
In the meantime, as you can see, we have all the ingredients ready for us there.
Yes. Now, just in case you didn't know what we were talking about before, this is the baby corn, okay? Baby corn. I don't know. I've had these things before. I love them. Very flavorful, nice consistency.
Yeah.
Nice little crunch to
They
it.
Exactly, they add a nice
Yes.
texture and color and variety to our Asian dishes usually. So I left the noodles draining there a little bit until we get things going. Would you mind putting the pan on top of this right here? And we have the peppers already chopped there, but just to show you how usually it's best to chop a pepper, you take it, to have the nice juliennes or the strips like that. I like to go like this. There's different ways you can do it at home, but it's sometimes it's easier to just take out the first two ends of the pepper, as you can see right there, like I did there. And then you take the seeds out like this. And then you just try to flatten it up a little like that, and then you just chop. And you have the nice long strips of pepper. And you can use all kinds of pepper, like green, yellow, and red, of course, to add a nice color. But this is how we basically do it. And so as the pan is heating there, we're going to put a little tiny drizzle of oil.
Okay.
And we're going to start sauteing first our harder vegetables. So in this case, we would start with our onion and our snap peas.
Okay.
You can, when it's heated up a little bit, you can put the snap peas and the carrots, the carrots and the snap peas
peas and carrots.
to go in, and that way they start getting a little bit cooked. We don't want to overcook the vegetables.
Okay.
We want to keep them nice and crisp because it's much nicer to eat.
Yeah, not mushy, soggy.
No, especially Asian food. Asian food usually, has the vegetables barely cooked, kind of just, heated up, I would like to say it.
Yeah.
And we're going to put those in first. Then we're going to add our onion.
Okay.
And then last,
Clean up. There we go.
yeah, sure. Let's saute that up a little bit. And in the meantime, we are going to get a small pot. Over here I have one, if you don't mind, Jason, excuse me, right here. Here's our small pot where I'm going to start mixing up our ingredients for our sauce.
Okay.
Now our sauce will, of course, bring the whole dish together.
Yes.
It will make it truly delicious and beautiful.
Okay.
For that, we're going to need all the ingredients that we read before. But first, let's put the onion, like I said, right, that I would put in. We're going to slightly saute it, just slightly. We want to keep the crispiness to all our vegetables. And especially our pepper and our onion and the ones that are softer. So we're going to put this over here.
Okay.
You saw how easy that was to cut the pepper?
Yeah, that's something I've actually always struggled with. is
Yeah,
cutting
and these
peppers,
little...
all the seeds and all that.
Yeah, but these little extra parts, we don't want to throw them away. It'd be good to use them for maybe a little soup or something that, you could season with by chopping them very, very little and fine.
Okay.
All right, so that's looking very pretty. See how shiny it is? We only used a dab of oil. It was just slightly to make it the juices start coming out. We can add our corn.
Okay.
And at the end, we're going to add our pepper.
Pepper
Okay.
is great because it's high in vitamin C.
It truly is. And it's just so pretty. I love how pretty it is. And to keep our vitamin C in the pepper, it's a good idea not to overcook it.
Yeah.
So that's why we're going to put it at the end,
Got it.
right before we turn off the stove.
Okay.
So for our teriyaki sauce or Asian sauce, we're going to use some garlic and ginger. These two, we're going to put them in a little pan. Can I have a little spoon if you don't mind, Jason?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We're going to put them here. Maybe you can give me a little space there in the stove so I can get it going
Yeah.
as well.
Here, let me move this on.
That's a good idea. Good, there you go.
There you go. We'll get this started.
Let's saute the garlic. It sautes very quickly. The garlic has so many sugars that it burns very, very easily. So it's a very good idea to keep your eye closed and to be very quick, okay, very quick. So just a little dab of sesame oil to start the cooking process of the garlic. And I like to add the ginger right into it. The ginger and the garlic are the base of our sauce, the flavor givers for our sauce. It starts sizzling right away, like I said, because of the sugars. And it's very important to keep a close eye on it. We don't want to burn the garlic. Right away, we can put our soy sauce.
Okay.
Now, soy sauce goes a long ways. It's very, very salty, as you know. That's why I like to thin it out with some water. But the water to the water, I'm gonna add a little bit of cornstarch so that we can have a thicker sauce and not so runny.
Okay.
Right? So would you mind passing me a spoon from that little thing over there? Not a big one, like the little tiny ones, if you don't mind.
Little ones?
Yes. Thank you. That's perfect. There you go. So we're gonna mix our cornstarch right into our water, as you can see right here.
Okay.
And that way we don't get lumps of cornstarch if we put it directly into the sauce.
Okay.
It's important to dilute it first in cold water. And that way you prevent having ugly lumps of cornstarch nobody wants.
Yeah.
So in order to thicken the sauce in the right way, this is the way to do it, okay? So we're nice and we have diluted the cornstarch and we put it in.
Okay.
And the idea is to cook the sauce until it's completely clear. Right now it's like milky, as you can see. But we don't want it milky. We want it nice and clear. You mix it up, and then we add the sugar.
Okay.
The sugar is very important because it will cut the saltiness, and it will just give it a perfect little taste of sweetness.
Okay.
And it just gives it that Asian flavor that is appropriate. Because most Asian food does use the sugar to balance out the saltiness of the soy sauce. So it's very important to use. And we're gonna cook it in here just a little until it starts getting nice and thick. All right, the veggies are perfectly done. Let's add the peppers at the very end.
Okay.
At the very, very end, just to get them with a brighter red and a brighter yellow. Okay? And that way, I'm gonna put, that's enough. And then we're gonna bring our noodles.
I'll keep stirring this.
Yes, please do. And let me bring the noodles so that we can add them to our veggies. That way we have...
Yeah, this is very, very colorful. Very.
All right. So the noodles are drained, and I rinse them with some cold water so that they would not overcook. Let's start up. Yes. As you can see, they're perfectly cooked. You see how fast this dish is?
Yeah, yeah.
The long part is the chopping of the vegetables. That's what takes the longest. But other than that, you have such a quick dish. The cooking process is very, very quick. So this is a very good dinner or meal to make when you come home from work. You know, most people like to take out, like, you know, Chinese takeout. But you can make it at home, and it's just so much healthier without any additives, without any chemicals or things like that. You see how nice and thick it is?
Yeah, that looks good. So
yes, thick and clear. It's not milky anymore. Did you notice that? So it's perfect. Now we added, can you turn it off if you don't mind the stove for me?
Yeah.
And we added to our beautifully colorful, I think you turned off the wrong one. I need you to turn it, yeah, thank you, Jason. There you go.
Welcome.
We add our sauce to our noodles, and we just mix them up with a different kind of spoon that is not, that one is probably better, yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe with some tongs. Do we have some here? Yes, we do.
So you're gonna mix
This
it with
works.
some tongs, and I'm gonna switch places with
That's
you while you do
better.
that.
Thank you, yeah.
You're welcome.
Here you go. With this, we just start mixing it like this. It's easier to mix them like this so that you don't break up too much of the noodles or anything like that. But do you see how simple that is and how much nicer it looks with the sauce now?
Yeah, that's gonna be delicious.
We might have to add all of it. Can you please add more of the sauce for me, Jason, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, that's great. That's perfect.
All right.
All right.
We got some more recipes to make too.
Yes, we do. Our next recipe is the broccoli tofu.
All right.
Yeah, so let's get ready to start that one.
For the broccoli tofu, we'll need 1 medium broccoli, 1 pound of tofu, 4 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 1 cup of homemade teriyaki sauce. So what's our first step in making this recipe?
All right, Jason, so the first step is to get our tofu ready. I've already pre-cut it in little dice-like pieces like this, as you can see right here. And on a nice big surface like this cutting board I have, we're gonna lay out our tofu, and we're going to be putting on all around it, basically coating each little square with some cornstarch.
Okay.
In the meantime, we already have our stove going there with our big pan. And let's put a little bit of sesame oil in there. Can you do that for me, please, Jason?
I sure can.
Thank you. You see how they get nicely and evenly coated? Then we just kind of roll them in the cornstarch like this. And we're going to be putting these little pieces of tofu coated with cornstarch in our pan.
Okay.
This will make these little pieces of tofu be crunchy and crispy.
Nice.
So it will be much nicer for our dish. And that way they will also stay, more in their shape.
I notice you like the crispier, crunchier.
I like the textures for sure. You see how they are basically even coated? It goes clear. The cornstarch gets wet with the tofu, and it goes clear, but it's still there. And let's just put it quickly. Careful, because it will. Yes.
Oh, it'll start popping.
Yeah, maybe it's a little bit too high. We can check the temperature. We put them in for a few minutes on each side, just so that we can get the crispiness going. And that way the dish will just be more pleasant to chew, more pleasant to eat.
Okay.
Because of the texture.
Okay.
And the sesame oil adds that extra Asian flavor to our tofu as well.
Gotcha.
So we're gonna
switch plates.
thank you again, yes. With this tool right here, we're gonna get them evenly spread out.
Okay.
As you can see right here. And we kind of have to wait a couple minutes until the tofu gets cooked on each side. Yeah, that's pretty much the first step.
Will you be needing this again?
I won't. So we can figure it out. Yeah, thank you very much.
This one here, you're welcome.
Then, as you can see, we also have our other ingredients. You see how that broccoli looks so bright and beautiful?
Oh, yeah.
We've already blanched it. We've already put it in boiling water for about 3 or 4 minutes, or until it gets very deep or bright green.
Okay.
And then we just took it out. And that will speed up the process. And that way we don't overcook it, or we don't get it, too raw. And
we want it crispy.
Crispy.
That's right. That's right.
You gotta get that crunch in there, It just makes it more fun. You see how it's getting nice and golden?
Yes.
This is how we're doing to do it.
Okay. And it didn't take a whole lot of, what was that we just poured in there just a minute ago?
Sesame oil? Oh, very little, just a little drizzle. It's just a little even coat of oil on the pan, just to help it, get a flavor in more than anything. But by the way, I did want to mention something, that the soy sauce that we're using is one that specifically has no alcohol. So make sure when you go to the store, check your ingredients. You're gonna buy something, it's better always to check what's in there and try to get the best option without any toxic or harmful, unhealthy ingredients.
Yeah.
So there are some in the market that don't have any alcohol. So make sure you look for a soy sauce like that. And another thing to watch or to remember is that soy sauce often has gluten in it. Unless you read and says gluten-free, you have to watch it, because you could say, oh, I'm gonna have a meal like this that is gluten-free because I'm having tofu and the vegetables. And some rice, those are all gluten-free, but then the soy sauce may have a little bit of gluten. So watch for that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Here we go. You see how they're getting nice and crispy?
Yeah, I love the sound of it.
Yeah. In the cooking classes that we do for Sanare, we often avoid using some of the things like what I just mentioned, like the soy sauce, period. We tend to use Bragg's amino acids.
Okay.
Have you heard of that product?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's what we use often in our classes when we work with a lot of people that have a lot of health issues, since we're trying to really help them restore their health.
So there's some health and wellness seminars, some cooking classes.
Exactly. We do 24-day health and restoration program.
Nice.
That we come and do at different churches or schools or organizations. And we also have that program on a DVD series. And so it's just brought so much, so many nice stories, from working through this program. We have a lot of testimonies that I would love to share, but we don't have much time for that.
Yeah, we still have another recipe.
That's right. In fact, this is basically ready.
Okay.
So what I like to do is I add the broccoli that is already previously
Nice.
quickly cooked, but just very quickly, and then our sauce. The same sauce that we made before. It's our Asian sauce.
That sauce looks amazing.
And the idea is that we don't overcook it. Just basically mix this up and then turn it off. We don't want to cook the broccoli basically anymore. It's already cooked.
Okay.
So this is it.
So that's
we just
the
give it,
last thing.
we give it a mix,
Uh-huh.
and then we turn it off.
Okay.
You see how shiny and beautiful this is?
Nice, yes.
It keeps the colors, the bright green of the broccoli.
Uh-huh.
The tofu is nice and
Crispy.
that's right.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
And the broccolis.
And the broccoli too.
Crispy.
Cri-
Uh-huh. That's right.
Yes, you got it. And this is it. Now we get to serve it in a pretty dish. And we can enjoy it with, of course, some rice because it's an Asian dish.
Yes.
Or noodles,
Or noodles,
the ones that
yeah.
we made before.
Yeah. Absolutely.
In fact, our next recipe is another great recipe. It's some Vietnamese rolls.
For the Vietnamese rolls and peanut sauce, you'll need rice paper, shredded cabbage or purple cabbage, lettuce leaves washed, carrot in strips, red bell pepper in strips, cilantro, and cucumber. And for the peanut sauce, you'll need 1 to 2 cloves of garlic, 1 to 2 teaspoons of grated ginger, 1 to 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 to 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, half a cup of peanut butter, and 1 to 2 tablespoons of cane sugar, and 1 to 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Wow, this is gonna be good.
Yes, they are very delicious. They're raw. It's like a salad,
Okay.
but in a fancier way, and of course with that Asian touch because of the sauce and the rice paper. Have you seen this before, Jason?
No, I have not seen that. Not in that form. Now, maybe I've seen it rolled up already.
Oh, that's right, yes. Maybe in
yeah.
a restaurant
Yes,
or something.
yes.
Well, you can make these at home by getting these rice paper sheets that are very easily accessible these days. Pretty much in any grocery store, you can find them in like the Asian food sections.
Okay.
And they even have brown rice sheets in some places.
Oh, nice.
And so this is kind of like our key or our star ingredient. But then we have all these beautiful vegetables, as you can see right here. And I have most of them prepared, as you can see. But we're going to do the cucumber together. Is that okay?
Sure.
So here, you take half, I'll take half.
You know what? We would be able to, let's see if what we got here.
You have a knife or not?
I don't have a knife,
Oh,
but I'm
my.
gonna improvise with this.
Good, that's
this little
great.
knife here.
But
See?
no, not like that.
Oh,
not
we
like
gotta cut it, see?
We're not making salad.
I jumped
I
ahead.
did say it's like salad, but we're making this roll. So we're gonna do them in long
Okay.
strips like this. Okay?
Gotcha.
We're gonna keep the skin on this cucumber because this cucumber is one of those English cucumbers that have very soft, crispy skin.
Okay.
That,
Crispy?
yeah.
That seems to be the theme of the program. Asian food and crispy. Gotcha.
It adds that extra crunch. So I do like to add cucumber, even though most of the ingredients are crispy, are crunchy. But this is pretty much how you cut. You know how they use sometimes also cucumber in sushi?
And sushi,
Have you had sushi? Well, it's the same idea, to put cucumber also in these Vietnamese rolls that are gonna be very tasty.
Gotcha.
At home, I make these, but I have to make about 10 of them per person because they just love them.
Wow, they're just disappearing.
They disappear. That's exactly right. Because they're so light. It's a bunch of vegetables, Of course, the sauce makes it a little bit heavier because the sauce takes some peanut butter.
Gotcha.
But this is pretty
So
much
how
it.
do you want it? So
Oh.
I want to cut my strips.
A little bit
Thinner?
Yes, kind of like
Okay.
this.
I'll tell
Yeah,
you
cut
what.
them in half or something if you can.
I'll trade. Let me borrow your knife real
Oh,
quick,
sure. Oh,
please.
that's a problem, right?
Yes,
yeah, that's the
yes,
problem.
yes.
Okay, now that we have our cucumber ready, let's set it out right here to the side a little bit. And we're going to take our rice paper. Now, I have here, we're going to put, you know what? I will need your cutting board when you're done, okay? Whenever you're ready.
All right.
But we're going to take a big dish like this one. Hopefully, it's a dish that has that is very wide, but also with some depth. You need that filled with hopefully drinking water, since we're gonna eat this raw. And what we'll do is that we're gonna dip each rice paper in our water.
Okay.
And sort of wet it.
And so what does that do for the rice paper?
It makes it nice and soft, kind of like a piece of wet cloth. You see how it starts getting a little bit more manageable, or you're able
So
to roll it. There you go. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you just wet it.
Okay.
This is made with rice. I assume it's cooked because it's very sticky as well. Okay. So that's all you do. You don't soften it too much, just enough to be able to roll it.
Okay.
And then once you
want
can.
this cutting board, right?
Yes, if you can. I'm gonna use that cutting board. But see, we're both gonna make this, so we might need an extra cutting board.
Okay.
So that way, thank you so much, Jason.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That little piece of cucumber.
Yeah, he was hanging on there.
Yeah.
He wanted to.
So what you want is you put your rice paper that is already wet and pliable. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, pliable.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you put 1 leaf of lettuce. You don't have to have the lettuce cut. If this is soft lettuce like this one, you just put one in the middle like that.
Okay.
Then you put the ingredients in the order that you want. You can put a little bit of cabbage.
Okay.
Then you put a little bit of carrot, right, like that. A couple of little julienne pepper.
Okay.
Then some cilantro. Sprigs like this,
Okay.
yes. You see how pretty that is? So
That's
colorful,
nice,
like a little
colorful.
rainbow.
Yeah.
And what you do is that you bring the sides in, first of all, you bring the
Okay.
sides in like this. You have them both touch, hopefully, so that they can stick to each other.
It's almost like a burrito.
Yes, exactly. No, you did say you like Mexican food.
I do like Mexican food.
You did say
That's
that.
right.
So then you roll them like this.
Okay.
You roll them like this. And then you have your beautiful little Vietnamese roll.
Nice.
All ready to be eaten up. So we can put them like right here in a nice pretty dish.
Okay.
All stacked up.
Okay.
Let's do them together. How about that?
Sounds
You wanna
like-
try?
I'll give it a try.
All right. So here's another sheet. Let's wet it a little bit, like 2 or 3 dips into the water. Okay, not too much. Like I said, you don't want to get it to the point that it's so wet that it breaks. It's just enough to get it to fold. All right? I think yours is ready.
I don't have another cutting board, so we'll have to improvise.
Yeah, let's improvise. Let's do it right here, 2 of us.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah, we can both
So,
manage. There's enough room.
Grab lettuce, right?
Yeah,
That's the
one.
base?
Yeah, you can use, or you can do it the way you want. You can even roll the lettuce, or not put lettuce if you don't like it. But put as many or as little as
My
as
hands
much as
are clean, by the way.
I believe you. You gotta be with clean hands in the kitchen.
That's right. That's crucial.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, there's enough room for both of us here. Isn't it fun to do this?
It is.
At home, I try to get my little boy involved. He's 5 years old, and of course, he doesn't really quite know how to make them very well yet, but he loves to try because he loves to eat them.
Yes.
So it's a fun way to getting kids involved and also enthusiastic about eating vegetables in a fun way like this. Plus, the sauce gives it such a delicious touch. Perfect, Jason.
This is the part that's going to be the struggle.
You can do it. Just
trying
fold
to
them
roll.
in to the side, to the middle,
Okay.
and then you tightly have to roll it in. You know, like bringing the veggies like close to you, kind of like a burrito.
You said you want the middle to touch.
If possible, yes, because
If
that will help it
possible.
stick.
Okay.
They will stick that way. You see? And then you have, and the shininess will go away because it will kind of dry out a little bit more. But they're so pretty that way. But then you'll see when we cut them, they will just look, oh, good job, Jason. Yes, that's good. Hey, is that the first time you've made one?
First time I made one, and hopefully when you make yours, it will turn out better than when I rolled mine. Here we
Yeah,
go.
no, it actually turned out very good. It's not difficult. Now let's move on to our sauce.
Okay.
We forgot the cucumber. We cut a cucumber. Let's make a couple more with cucumber. How about that? Okay?
Okay.
Because we forgot to put cucumber. That was the point
Yeah,
of cutting the cucumber.
I was like, well, I didn't know if it was going to go on the sauce.
I'm
there.
sorry.
That's
No,
all
that
right.
doesn't go in the sauce. That goes
okay.
in the inside of the roll.
Yeah.
That was silly. But we can do it. We can do a couple more with cucumber. In fact, some people don't like cucumber or
Yeah.
don't like some of the veggies. So you can just put whatever you do, whatever is of your choice.
Absolutely.
You know?
And
Let's
I'm
move on.
sure plenty of people at home have left out some ingredients.
Oh,
in
yes,
some
because if you
dish.
don't have everything, you
Absolutely.
use whatever you do have. You
Yeah.
can even put some sauteed tofu. People do that. Or
As
you
long
can,
as it's crispy.
Yes, exactly. As long as it's crispy, please. There you put the cucumber. Maybe it's too big, so you have to maybe cut it a little bit.
Okay.
But then it's gonna be a little bit more crunchy. Yeah. All right. So now for our make sure you finish that off,
Yeah, let me.
and then we'll move on to our sauce.
Okay.
This one right here has a little bit of a cabbage out, but that's okay.
Got you.
You're gonna-
So do you want to switch sides with me while I
All
roll
right.
this one?
Yes.
And then you're going to work on the sauce?
Great. Sure. Thanks, Jason.
Wonderful.
For our sauce, we're gonna have a little pot. Let's turn on the stove. And in this little pot, we're gonna put the peanut butter. Okay, first goes the peanut butter. Let me put it in. And we're gonna add some water to it. The water will help loosen it up so that we don't have such a thick sauce, but rather more of a dipping sauce for our rolls. So we're gonna stir it up a little bit like this. In fact, I have here a little whisk. This is perfect.
Nice.
We're gonna whisk it up like this.
Okay.
And we're gonna just get it very smooth, nice and smooth. As we stir, we put in the rest of the ingredients.
Okay.
So we have here the soy sauce, which will give it as the taste, the Asian taste, as well as the saltiness. So we're not gonna use salt, just the soy sauce or the aminos. And then to give flavor, we're gonna add some ginger.
Nice. Which is great for your stomach, too.
Oh yes, ginger is
Great
great for
properties
so many
there.
things, and plus it's so
Let me
delicious.
get this out. Are you done with the cucumber?
You know, yes we are. We're gonna make some more later, but for now we're done. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
And this is gonna start boiling quick, so let's turn it on a little bit. And then we add our sesame oil.
Okay.
That gives it a very special flavor. And then some, how do you call it? Cane sugar, hopefully like the most natural sugar you can find.
Okay.
This sauce is like sweet and salty, okay?
Gotcha.
Like most Asian things are, most Asian sauces are.
Uh-huh.
And at the end, we're also gonna add just a little bit of lemon juice,
Okay.
just to give it a little bit more tartness.
Gotcha.
And that way it complements very well the veggies, you know, so the acidity in the lemon juice makes it perfect.
Nice.
All right, that's it. Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
Wow, yeah, that thing.
That was
it's
quick.
excited. It's jumping out the pot on us.
You see how quickly that was made?
Absolutely.
The garlic and ginger don't have to be cooked, overcooked, just enough to get the flavors going, but then you have the sauce ready. As
Nice.
you see how simple that was?
Yeah.
It would be ideal to let it cool a little bit before you serve it, but since the dishes are so small, it will cool off very quickly.
Okay.
So there's no big deal right now. But yes, you should serve the sauce cold. It's best.
Gotcha.
So then what you do is that you serve your beautiful rolls with the sauce. And let me show you something, Jason.
Okay.
If you take one of the rolls, let's take this one right here, and you cut it diagonally like this,
Nice.
look how pretty it looks.
That looks good.
You see, it's like a rainbow.
Yep.
And so you can serve them like open like this too, you know?
Nice.
You can put them like this, that way it looks pretty. And you can garnish it with a little bit of cilantro or whatever, or other little greenery. But this is a very fancy dish. And did you find it difficult?
No, but you know what I do notice? I can tell you every one that you rolled, and I can tell every one that I rolled. Yours looks so much better. You've done this before.
I have many times, but it's not that difficult. For your
No,
first time, you
no.
did a wonderful job, and just
Thank you.
takes a little more practice, but you'll get it.
Yeah. It's something that's quick. It's easy. It's clearly nutritious.
Very much so, and like I said, you eat your veggies in a very fun and delicious way.
Yep.
This, in fact, is the best way that I get my husband to eat vegetables, or to eat especially this one. He loves this. He just loves them. He can eat this. All he eats for lunch when I make this is this. He doesn't want anything else. He just wants the rolls with the peanut sauce. So it's such a hit at home.
And the kids love it?
Oh, yes. My son, he wants to make them. He's like I told you, he wants to make them. So he's learning slowly but surely. Hopefully one day he'll make them for me. Yeah.
Now, what's your favorite type of food?
Asian, actually. It
Asian
is.
Food? Okay.
It is. I lived in Korea for a while, and I just fell in love with the culture and the country and everything, but especially the food.
Gotcha.
So it's one of those foods that kind of hits the spot.
Yeah.
And I love to make it. It's so simple.
Yeah.
And quick and easy. So that's why I enjoy making it and eating it, of course.
Nice. And have you always been like big into veggies and all that stuff? I noticed like almost each dish that we've made has had some kind of veggie in it, pretty much.
We did. As you could see, we used a variety of vegetables, a huge variety. And yes, I have pretty much always enjoyed them. We used to have a farm when I was growing up, and we used to have our own garden. So even the Brussels sprouts that most people don't like, we used to have them in our garden. So because we planted them and it was hard, hard to get them going, we appreciated all the veggies that we were able to get back. So yes, I enjoyed it very much. I enjoyed them very much, yes.
Gotcha. And let's see here. So we've got the cucumber, you've got the peanut sauce, you've got the leaf lettuce here, and the wraps. What else could you put some tofu in this, maybe?
Tofu or even avocado. Avocado is a very good option to put in, little long, things of avocado or tofu or other kinds of vegetables, other things that you may enjoy. You can even put little peanuts in there or whatever.
Now, what if I wanted to add a little vegan cheese, put a little vegan cheese in there?
Maybe. I have never tried them that way, but I'm sure you can go very, very creative with them.
Just kind of mix it up a little bit.
Exactly. But it's a great thing to have in the summer because they're very refreshing.
Crisp and refreshing.
Yes.
Crispy. Perhaps you've been watching this program and you're saying to yourself, I really want to learn how to eat a healthy diet. Maybe you'd like to invite somebody from Sonari Life to an area near you. We're going to go to their contact info at this moment.
If you would like to contact Sonari Life Consultants, you may do so in a variety of ways. You may call them at 817-719-3099. That's 817-719-3099. You may also write to them at Sonari Life Consultants, 1035 MLK Junior Drive, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314. That's Sonari Life Consultants, 1035 MLK Junior Drive, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314.
Wow, something about all of these dishes, right? They were all delicious.
I think so too.
All delicious, very flavorful.
Yeah.
Why don't you go around and tell us, yes, colorful and crispy, and tell us what we made.
Yeah, well, what we made today was a chickpea curry that we used some beautiful vegetables there as well with the chickpeas. And then we moved on to an Asian noodle dish with some Oriental noodles as well as some beautiful, colorful vegetables. You can see how crispy they look and fresh they are. So it's nice to get a crunch. And then we moved on to a tofu broccoli that we put in a sauce, a special sauce we made that is like a teriyaki version of a sauce, which we use for both recipes. And lastly, we finished with some raw Vietnamese rolls filled with beautiful, colorful, and delicious and sweet vegetables, and we complemented those with a peanut sauce that goes right perfectly with them. So if you notice, Jason, the great thing about these dishes are that even though this Asian, usually when you go to an Asian restaurant, you have very greasy, heavy dishes, but you notice how much oil we use? Very, very little.
Yep.
So they're very, very low in oil, which makes it pretty nice as well.
Yeah,
healthier.
Healthier, absolutely. Which one would you say is your favorite dish?
To be honest, like probably right now, those the rolls.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, nice and refreshing. I'd have to say mine is probably the chickpea curry.
With some rice that we have here as well to
yes,
complement. Because really, you can't have Asian food without rice.
Absolutely.
It's kind of you can't do that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us here.
Oh,
and
thank
for
you.
preparing all
Thank
this
you all
wonderful
for
food.
having me. Thank you very much.
And thank you. Until next time, God bless.